On November 24th, 1971, a man boarded a commercial airplane in Portland, Oregon. He was calm, he was polite, he paid cash, nothing about him stood out. 45 minutes later, that same man would hijack the plane, collect $200,000, and disappear into the night. No body was ever found, no parachute was ever recovered, and to this day, no one knows who he really was. This is the story of D.B. Cooper. The flight was Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, a Boeing 727 flying from Portland to Seattle, 36 passengers, 6 crew members, a short routine trip. The man gave his name as Dan Cooper. He wore a dark business suit, a white shirt, and a thin black tie. He sat in seat 18C, ordered a bourbon and soda, and waited. At 2:50 p.m. the plane took off. A few minutes later, Cooper handed a note to a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. She assumed it was a phone number and ignored it. Cooper leaned closer and spoke calmly. "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb. Inside the briefcase were wires, batteries, and red cylinders." The bomb looked real. Cooper made his demands clear. $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. He spoke politely the entire time. No shouting, no panic, no threats. The pilot informed air traffic control. The plane circled the city for hours, while authorities gathered the money. Passengers were told there was a mechanical issue. They never knew they were being hijacked. At 5:39 p.m., the plane landed in Seattle. The money was delivered. The parachutes were delivered. Cooper allowed all passengers to leave. Only the crew stayed behind. Cooper gave new instructions. The plane would fly toward Mexico City, at low altitude, slow speed, landing gear down. The Boeing 727 had one feature Cooper seemed to know very well: a rear staircase that could be lowered during flight. As the plane flew south through the night, somewhere over the Pacific Northwest, Cooper stood up. He put on a parachute. He tied the money around his waist. He walked to the back of the plane. At approximately 8:13 p.m., a warning light came on in the cockpit. The rear staircase had been lowered. Moments later, the plane suddenly jolted upward. D.B. Cooper was gone. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history. They searched forests, rivers, and mountains. They interviewed hundreds of suspects. They analyzed the tie Cooper left behind. Nothing. In 1980, a boy found several bundles of decaying cash on the banks of the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money, but no body was ever found. No parachute, no weapon. Some believe Cooper died during the jump. Others believe he survived and vanished forever. In 2016, after 45 years, the FBI officially closed the case. D.B. Cooper remains the only unsolved skyjacker in American history, a man who walked onto a plane as a nobody and stepped into legend. Somewhere, the truth still exists, but whether Cooper lived or died, one thing is certain: he got away.